Well, our prayers have finally been acknowledged. We don't know if they've been answered yet, but I think we're going to find out very soon. If you guys didn't see it, the new timeline for the patch cadence of Dragonflight was released today, and we got the info that we have all been waiting for. Season 3 is coming very, very soon. They didn't give us an exact date, but honestly, I think it's right around the corner. It's either going to be right before BlizzCon or shortly after, and BlizzCon is a month and a half away. So, what's happening during this patch? There's all this stuff here. You guys can learn about all of this stuff in another video. What we're here to talk about today is the Demon Hunter class talent updates. So here's what I think is going to happen. About a month ago or 2 months ago, maybe even further than that. Actually, it was much earlier than that. It was going into Fractures in Time, I believe. It was promised that we were going to get a rogue rework. Some things came up that wasn't possible, so it got delayed. Fast forward to where we are now, approaching Season 3. They're now ready to give us that rogue rework. That's a tongue twister, by the way. Rogue rework. And we're getting Demon Hunter changes. So because they kind of listed them in the same sort of verbiage, they didn't say rogue rework and other class changes, right? We got class talent updates, rogue and Demon Hunter. So this leads me to believe that Demon Hunter is going to be getting some substantial changes. And I think a lot of them are going to be things that we've been asking for a while, problems that have been looming over our heads every time we play the class. So this is a time for us to be very hopeful, very excited. So yeah, let's start talking about it. The first thing I want to show you guys is this. Now, this was from a blue post, and this is essentially just going over the developers' notes, what their thoughts are going into changing Havoc, changing Demon Hunter in general, and giving us the love and attention that we've been kind of begging for. So, developers' notes. Updates for Demon Hunter talents are in progress, but we're not ready for testing just yet. Goals for the update include improving pathing and connections in the class tree. This is very important because one of the most frustrating things about Havoc right now is that we have these two utility abilities, Netherwalk and Fell Eruption, and it's just impossible for us to take them. It's such a massive DPS loss for us to sacrifice another talent point to get those, and it just feels bad. You know, Netherwalk used to be a talent that we had all the time. It was our get out of jail free card. It was the pseudo immunity that was like unique to us, and we could be useful in raid because we were able to use it to, you know, immune mechanics. There was just some really cool things you can do with Netherwalk, and then we essentially just got stripped of it. So we've been playing without it for the past few patches, and I think now, hopefully, they're going to be able to move things around in a way that we can get Netherwalk again. And Netherwalk is super useful in all areas of gameplay. PvP, raid, Mythic Plus, hell, even world quests. You can still die doing world quests, believe it or not. Yeah, we might be getting Netherwalk. Fell Eruption is going to be incredibly useful. I would say in raid, a little less useful, but PvP, people use Fell Eruption all the time, or they used to. Mythic Plus, incredibly useful because it's a single target stun. It's just another piece of crowd control and another stop in our toolkit. So I'm very excited to get that back. Addressing underused talents. So there we're going to look at things like maybe Fell Barrage. I know that's the one that everyone goes to immediately. I don't know if there's any saving that talent, to be completely honest, but we'll have to see what they mean. Ultimately, there are quite a few unused talent points on the tree. We're going to have to see how that pans out. Increasing access to key Havoc utility that currently clashes with DPS. Again, that's what we discussed up top, which was, you know, Netherwalk, Fell Eruption. There are some other things where, like, getting certain points for a certain build kind of take you down a weird path that kind of veers into talents that you would only need for another build. It's pretty convoluted, so I'm hoping they can just solve the spaghetti code that is our talent trees. Updating existing talents to improve resultant gameplay. Immediately, that makes me think of Fodder to the Flame. If they can fix some of the bugginess of that. Also, Isolated Prey, which again goes hand in hand with Fodder to the Flame because of the weird interactions between the two. Because with Isolated Prey, you need to only have ever one target to reap the benefits of it. But if you have Fodder to the Flame, around every minute, you're summoning another enemy, another mob. So as soon as that demon spawns, you're canceling out any effect that you might be getting from Isolated Prey. So it's weird, and I really hope they can find a way to fix that. The way that Isolated Prey is working right now, it makes it, if you take it, and it's single target, it makes it so Fel Rush is your just main Fury generator. You're just Fel Rushing all the time, not just for momentum, but for Fury as well. And because it's so bountiful in the resources that you get, you don't have to press Fellblade. You don't have to do all these other things that are generating Fury, like Immolation Aura. You can just completely lean into Fel Rush. And that feels kind of bad because you're just not pressing your buttons. Improving Vengeance's sigil-related talents as a possible build identity, or to be incorporated into other builds more successfully. That's pretty cool. A sigil-oriented build might be pretty interesting. It's a very specific gameplay type, I would say. Sigils are kind of strange because you have to be predictive with them. You have to put them down and know that there's like a couple second delay before they activate, and you have to be predictive with where you place them. It's kind of cool actually. I would be interested to try a Havoc sigil-related build. It would be absolutely incredibly frustrating to play, I can only imagine, but it would be cool to try. And adding a couple new talents that help achieve these goals. We expect Demon Hunter talent changes to roll over in the course of the next few PTR updates. Check back soon. So, of course, I will be making videos as we learn more about all this stuff, and it's going to come in waves. And I think what we have to keep in mind as we start getting these while they're feeding us this information, is that what we get in one build may seem a certain way, but it might change how you perceive that later on once you see a different change, if that makes sense. So, like, we're not getting everything at once. So we just have to keep that in mind because everything is related to each other. We might get a nerf in one area, and Blizzard might be planning to buff something else to compensate for that, but they just haven't put that in our PTR build yet, or vice versa. We might get a super high buff to something, but later on they plan on kind of evening or balancing that out by nerfing something else later. So we just have to keep that in mind, that we're not getting all of the information right away, and we can't be jumping to too many conclusions, but I think generally we can kind of get a sense of what they're hoping to achieve and what areas they're thinking they need to touch on to achieve that. So the next thing we can look at is the tier bonus for our tier sets that has been actually data mined very early this time in the PTR cycle. So this one is interesting, and I want you guys to approach this with an open mind. Again, something to just keep in the back of your head here is that you're perceiving what these changes are without knowing what the rework of Demon Hunter is going to be, right? We don't know how our talents are going to change. We don't know what abilities are going to be the most impactful. We don't even know if our rotation is going to be changing. So just something to keep in mind. You might read this and jump to some conclusions, but again, we don't know yet, okay? So Demon Hunter, Havoc. The 2-piece set bonus, each slash of Blade Dance has a 50% chance to throw glaive an enemy for 35% damage. So this one sounds absolutely insane. So each slash of Blade Dance, this could mean two things. Blade Dance slashes 4 times. It has 4 instances of hits, right? Does it mean just those 4? Or does it mean each slash on each mob? I don't think it's each slash on each mob, because that would be worded a bit differently. But each slash of Blade Dance makes me think 4 times. You know, each time those hit, you have a 50% chance to throw glaive. Now, if we're playing a throw glaive build as Havoc, there's a lot of throw glaive talents that we have. Talents that are modifying throw glaive. Here, let me just pull it up actually. So if we're looking at throw glaive talents, we have bouncing glaives. Throw glaive ricochets to an additional target, so that's making it bounce an extra time, right? We have Master of the Glaive. Throw glaive has 2 charges, snares all enemies by 50%. We also have things like, let's see, go down here, we have Furious Throws. Throw glaive now costs 25 Fury. So if it's a procced throw glaive, I imagine it wouldn't cost that 25 Fury. And throws a second glaive at the target, so it's duplicated. I would imagine that if you get that proc from that set bonus, it's going to duplicate it, but it's not going to just drain Fury from your resource bar, right? So we have that. Serrated Glaive, right? Enemies hit by Throw Glaive take 10% increased damage from Chaos Strike and Eye Beam. That goes up to 20% because it's 2 points. So yeah, if we're playing a single target Serrated Glaive build, we might never actually have to press Throw Glaive rotationally because they're being sent out automatically by our Blade Dance, which is incredible, because one of the biggest problems with playing Serrated Glaive in a single target raid build setting is that you have to know the logistics and like when you should be pressing through glaive and when you shouldn't, and you're wasting a GCD pressing it, which is detrimental to your whole rotation because you need to be spending your GCDs on things that are reducing the cooldown of Eye Beam through Cycle of Hatred and extending your demonic with Shattered Destiny. You know, the age-old problem. So if that's solved by just automatically procced throw glaives from your blade dance, this could be really good. Moving forward, we have things like Accelerated Blade. So throw glaive deals 60% increased damage, reduced by 30% for each enemy hit. So again, that's just doing more damage because you're just getting these random glaives being thrown out and they're bouncing all over the place. Then we have something like Soul Rend. Throw glaive causes targets to take an additional 60% of damage dealt as chaos over 6 seconds. If we have that set bonus and the talents that we have here for throw glaive stay the same, I can almost guarantee you we are going to have 100% uptime on Soul Rend. Between us actually pressing the button and the ones that are proccing, it's going to be absolutely insane. The cool thing about Soul Rend is that the damage just keeps stacking up and up and up. It's not a dot that you have to worry about overwriting. It just, each time it hits, each time a glaive hits a mob, it just adds to the damage of the dot. So yeah, that can be a lot of damage. If you played the Soul Rend throw glaive build in Season 1, you know how much of a portion of your overall damage came from Soul Rend and came from throw glaive. It's going to be even crazier. And then, you know, one that I kind of skipped over here and didn't even realize until just now is Burning Wound. So Demon's Bite and throw glaive leave open wounds on enemies, dealing chaos damage, whatever. So the problem with this now is that like you have to remember to press throw glaive, apply it, and you have to make sure it hits the right targets. But now if you're just throwing out random glaives, again, it's just passive. It's going to happen for you, and you're going to get more damage out of your Burning Wound, out of your Immolation Aura. It's going to be great. So that's what I'm kind of seeing with the two-piece. And again, this is all based off what our talents are now. A lot of these talents could and probably will change in the very near future, but that's where I see it so far. To go back to the four-piece, throw glaive reduces the remaining cooldown of the hunt by 0.4 seconds, and the hunt's damage over time effect lasts 4 seconds longer. So this one is kind of weird, not sure I love it, but I do think that between all of the passive throw glaives that are happening, and if we're playing a throw glaive build, we will get some pretty substantial cooldown on the hunt. We'd be taking Unnatural Malice, so increases the damage over time effect of the hunt by 30%, and we're increasing the damage over time effect by 4 seconds. So kind of, you know, it's kind of weird, kind of okay. The hunt has never been that big of a portion of our damage, but it might go a little bit higher now because we're extending the duration of the dot by 4 seconds. I would say 4 seconds is a substantial amount to add, and we're going to be using it more often. The other thing is if we're playing that throw glaive build, we're probably taking Any Means Necessary, which is turning the hunt into chaos damage, so it's being amplified by our mastery. Our mastery is getting pretty high now at this point in the expansion. We're up to like, you know, if we're using gear for it, we're up to like 60-something%. So yeah, could be cool. I do think though, and I'm hoping, this is what I'm kind of predicting here. I think that they're going to be changing the hunt, or at least like rebalancing it so it's actually impactful. Because right now it doesn't do much. We're really only using the hunt for momentum, really. Like it does a little bit of damage, yes, but the fact that it applies momentum is it's clutch. But if we can add some more damage to that and actually make it a impactful part of our rotation, it's going to be great. And I think if they're able to do that with the balancing changes, and we are also, you know, reducing the cooldown to be able to use it more often, and the dot could be cool. But as of right now, I'm not 100% sold on the 4-piece. I think we have to wait and see. I don't want to jump to any conclusions yet, but kind of cool. 2-piece, I think, is going to be absolutely insane. Yeah, that's where I am at with these changes. Like I said, guys, if there are more changes that come out, you can be sure that I will post a video on it and give you the best analysis that I can do personally. You know, we try to make these videos quick, but still be informative. So I may have missed some things. If you have something that I missed, or if you have any input, feel free to leave a comment below. Let me know. Let's start a conversation. And hey, if you say something really cool and you blow my mind with it, something that I missed here, I'll give you a shout out in the next video. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate you guys watching. I know it's been kind of a lull in content because, truthfully, there just hasn't been anything to make videos on. But I think we're getting back into the season, you know? There's going to be some content, and there's going to be some videos. So, again, thank you for watching. Give this video a like. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, and check out the merch below. Buy a t-shirt. All right, peace.